Hi there and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Coachman Laser 665. These are a basic walkthrough on how to set up and operate the caravan as if you were coming on or off site. Starting off first, we have your hitch head here with silver lever, which you have to have pulled up, which then allows you to wind down the jockey wheel onto the tow ball. That handle will snap down, it will push up this red ring and expose a green ring at the bottom. That way you know you're on. You have a breakaway cable just here, which legality states if you have an eye point it has to be used, if not wrapped around the tow bar. Your handbrake to disengage press down and to engage flick up. Now with these, they can come up with a fair bit of force, so make sure your head's not in the way. You then have 13-pin electric for towing, so if you do have 7-pin adaptation, make sure to bring yourself an adapter. However, you may lose a couple of features such as the AL-KO ATC. On this model, it is fitted with the EMP leg system, which I will show later on in the video. However, we are using test equipment today, so I have a red propane gas bottle just here. I'd always recommend propane over butane just because it has a better performance over winter. Plugged into it, we have an in-date gas hose. Now, black gas hoses run for 5 years, so this one's production date 2025, so this will take me up to 2030. That connects onto the top of that regulator just there. Hand tighten that as much as you can, and then just nip it up using your spanner. You don't want it ridiculously tight, as that will put pressure on the washer and can cause the O-ring inside to crack and break, leading to gas leaks. Moving along the caravan. On this side, first up, we have your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler when operating on gas. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice, clean and tidy. You then have a point here for an external shower if you were to have one fitted. Then you have your plug-in for your water. Now your water, all you have to do is press it in, push down the cap slightly to lock it into place. Standard to any sort of water pump, make sure that the strainer sits at the bottom of the barrel. We're not running water through today as it is rather cold and the caravan has been fully drained off. Next to it, we have your leisure battery. Now with this, connects on the top with either a 12 or 13mm spanner or your battery spanner that you have there. So just connect positive to positive, negative to negative. Then we have your plug-in for your mains just here. Mains plugs in nice and easy, and then you can wrap around the mains lead like so to allow you to lock up the locker. Motor mover will be gone over on collection. And then lastly, we have your toilet function. So first up, these two holes are where your wastewater is going to come out of. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe to then feed into a waste master that you can empty out at the appropriate point on site. Then here we have your cassette toilet. To remove the cassette toilet, press up on the orange handle and pull out just like so. This handle can extend out and up as well and can be used similar to a carry-on suitcase. To drain this off, twist this head to the side, open up the cap like so. You want to get it so it's tilted. Same time as tilting, continually press your vent button. Now my recommendation after you've done that is to open up this compartment here, feed it some fresh water, give it a bit of a shake, and again tilt and vent. Then on this cap here you have measurements of both imperial and metric, and that is for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes into this cap, twist the head back to the side, lock it in place, push it in so the orange handle sits behind those white teeth, as then it can't be removed. Then above we have your flush cap. So the flush tank itself can hold around 12 litres of water, however I wouldn't recommend putting in any more than 10 as you don't want to overfill the compartment. You can also add a bit of pink chemical which works as a bleach without being corrosive and makes it smell a bit nicer. Please do not put bleach down the toilet as it will corrode the plastics. And then lastly, you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so you've got a little bunk here to drain off any remaining water in the system. When you collect the caravan will be fully drained off. Then underneath your right hand side seat you have all of this here, so I wouldn't recommend storing anything under. Main things to note, this here is your boiler, and just to the side there you can see yellow switch valves. Now when them yellow switch valves are facing in the upright position, that means it's in drain mode. Anytime it's flicked up, no water's going to be able to pass through the system. November to March, have that up permanently unless you're actively using the caravan. There's one there and one there. And make sure you do also have them up over winter, as any damage caused by frost is excluded from any warranty claim, including manufacturer's warranty. Then these two blue boxes are your brain boxes for your motor mover. Don't have to do anything with them, but you can pull back them panels if you ever need to do a reset. This black box mounted on the side is your solar panel regulator. Again, don't have to do anything with that. And that red button just there is your overdrive emergency button to retract the legs on the EMP system. Then lastly, you have your trips and fuses just here. I'd always recommend carrying some extra fuses across the caravan just in case one goes, and if you'd like to know what they represent, they say so at the bottom. However, they can give you a bit more information inside the actual book packs. And just above here we have your main control panel. So it's currently on, master on, you can see there, and then I can flick through a couple of settings. So first up is the time, next is settings, which I can access inside and go through a couple of different minor settings just here. And then whenever you want to enter, you press this button here. Next, you have fill tank. Again, if you wanted to fill the tank, pressing on that button. Pump select, you have internal pump or external pump. So internal pump is using the onboard tank, whilst internal pump is using the onboard tank itself. So external is straight from the Aquaroll to the tap, internal is straight from the actual water system to the tap. You then have the water level and the internal temperature of the caravan. Leisure battery voltage. Now, as I'm currently plugged into mains, that won't be an accurate representation of the amount coming from the leisure battery. If you want to see the accurate amount, don't be plugged in with mains. And then you're back to the time. Next up, this button here is for internal light. Then you have your awning light, so press that in, awning on. Go to the outside, you can see there that's on. And then you have this pump button here. So this is for your water pump. Now, what you would do is you would have the water pump plugged in outside, which is this here. To have it plugged in, all you have to do is press this in, press down the cap as I showed outside, and then have your strainer sit at the bottom of the barrel. You also have this white cap to go over the top of the Aquaroll to ensure no nastiness gets in. You would press the pump button, wait about 2 to 3 minutes to allow some water to be drawn through. Make sure that you have your actual, forget what it's called, drain valves in the correct position, which is horizontal. After them 2 to 3 minutes, come over to your tap, open up on both hot and cold, and what you're looking for is a nice steady continuous stream. If you haven't used the system in a while, it may be a case that there's a couple of coughs and splutters. That is normal. Just make sure you let it run for about 30 seconds till you get that nice stream. If it continues to cough and splutter, check your drain valves, check your pump, and check that you have plenty of water in the system and what system you're selected. So, quick summary: water pump, enter button, awning light, inside light, and settings that you can circle through. And underneath your left hand side seat, if you're looking straight on, this here is your onboard tank system. So make sure you don't lift this tank from its fittings. However, what you can do, a little bit awkward to do with one hand, is you can manually open that up to view the amount of water that's inside the system. You then have this valve here, which is your selector valve, which you can go down or to the side to select the correct system. Now, with that valve, you have to have it facing downwards to allow the flow of water to come in, and to the side to make sure that there's no water going to the actual tank, dependent on what you're wanting to use. If you'd like a little bit more info on this, please have a look inside your book pack, because there's a few more technical parts when it comes to it. The basics are you can open up that compartment and you have a valve just here. You have your plugs for your water which run through and around here to reach it. Capacity is around about 30 litres. Next to that we have your Arduet central heating. Now on the top you can see that I'm plugged into mains, and you have this yellow greenish button to show that the system is on. Now press menu and this is your home screen. So first up you have indoor setting, which is the temperature that you desire. It goes up to a maximum of 30, and whatever you set it to, it will get to that temperature. The temperature you want is the below setting, and the temperature above is what it's currently set to. Well, what the current temperature is inside. Next, we've got the light setting, which is just the brightness linked to the AC light, which is this here. Energy is what you would like to use as a source. So you can either use electric, gas, or a mixture of both. For gas, select just there. Do be aware some sites do not have 3 kilowatt capacity. Then you have hot water, so either off, on, which will get it to 40 degrees, or boost. Now boost will prioritize heating the water over heating the actual van itself for around about 30 minutes. It will set itself a timer, then drop itself down to on afterwards. Then you have some additional settings when I press menu again, which you can just flick through here. It's a little bit awkward because I've got a cut on my hand, but you can flick through them to have a look at different things, just like night mode and brightness. Now when you don't want this on in the slightest, you press in this button, no more green light, shows you that it's all off. Then with regards to your actual AC, turn it on, press on the on button. You then have a couple of different modes which you can select here. So that's your upwards mode there, automatic, a ventilation setting, so that will just push across the air inside the van, actual aircon or heat, so we'll just put it on auto for now. And if I go onto the vent setting, I then have the amount of speed for the fan. So 1 being the slowest, 2 being midway, 4 being the fullest. Press mode again, and we're on to actual AC, where we can set the temperature, goes up to a maximum of 31, and will work its way down to 16, as you can see just there. Then to turn it off, press in on the middle button and it turns itself off. There is a slight delay between the actual commands for it. Then just here we have your cooker. Now everything on your cooker works on gas minus the electric plate. For the electric plate, just spin it to whatever mark and it will get to temperature. On the side you have a light just here which you can press in. Then you have your dials here which you have to press in, move to the side and press in your igniter. Now it may be a case that these flames will light and then cut out. That's natural, that's just the gas making its way through its system. This is what it looks like when they're all lit. And as you can see, all your burners nice and lit just here. Turn it off, switch that back to the central position. Same concept for the grill. As you can see there, grill all nice and working. And lastly, your oven. Just press in the dial, twist it to the side, and you can see the oven all nice and lit there as well. Only other real thing to note, you need to travel with this glass sheet down, but don't put it down until all of these are cold to the touch. You can travel with your gas bottle inside the actual system. However, make sure the gas bottle is turned off, as otherwise the gas will just leak through. And then on the top here, you have an integrated extract fan. Turn this on, press in the button just there. You then have your fan speed, which can go down and up. So it's currently off. 1, 2, and 3. 3 being the most powerful. Just slightly noisy. And then you have a light just there so you can see what's going on. Turn it off, press in the button just there. And then you have your toilet operation, which is bug simple. Lift up the lid, press in the button on the top, and you can hear that motor. That motor is what will push around any water inside the system to remove the waste. Press away on the handle, opens up the catch, pull it back towards you to be able to remove the actual cassette. And when the cassette's full, there'll be a red light there telling you to go and empty. Then lastly, we have your fridge and freezer operation. So it's currently on right now. As you can see, there's light in the bottom, and there's this little blue LED to show that it's on. Now, what you have to do is press in on this middle button. It will flash up and show you what it's currently set to, which is mains on full capacity. Press and hold this in. It will then flash and allow you to choose what setting you have. So you either have mains. This battery symbol is representative of 13-pin electrics, not your leisure battery. Gas. So with regards to gas, check through all of your cooker to make sure that's working before you select that. Or auto. Now, if I select auto, pressing on this button here would be useful if I showed it. Then we have the amount of power. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 5 being the most powerful, so it's going to chill it the quickest. Then to select, press in, auto selects mains. It's best source to use. And that will flash off after a couple of seconds, just so it doesn't disturb you, as you see. And then to turn this off, press and hold in. No more light there, no more light inside. Then with regards to your EMP system, you have to make sure that your mains are out. Come over to here and then remove this little dock. Have it switched on using the back, pressing that button. And then when you want to put the legs up, press automatic and you select this button just here. Now what will happen is the legs will come up and they will automatically do that. Now you can also manually select just here and choose which legs to go up or down even. So press up and you can see each yellow part signifies which legs are going up. Now I'm going to try not to get that wet, but I don't mind getting myself wet for a second. And as you can see, these gradually come up. Now you do have to make sure that your nose is pointing down to an extent so that it's able to level itself off. As you can see, it takes a little bit of time, takes around a minute. However, makes your life a little bit easier. So gradually this will happen. Now there are also 2 stabilizers in the middle as well. So if we have a look at the progress on here, you can see that the front 2 and the back 2 are coming up. There is a stop button just there if you need to stop it for whatever reason. However, you can hear all of these machines going at the same time. So you've just got to sit back and wait for a minute. Okay, it's stopped now. So you can go in and you can see that nothing is no longer operating. And then when you come to put your legs down, press on the auto down button and it will show you a little graph inside to show that that dial needs to be in the middle. So gradually, just sit back and wait. It will do it all itself. Now with this, make sure that the nose is down to a sufficient level so that you're able to operate this.